Good day, everyone. Welcome to Mapepe Chilanga. This is Namuku Farm. My name is Akataloka Kaluwe, and this is my wife, Janet. We are operating a fish farm here together with some vegetable farming. We started this operation in 2 years ago. This is our second year in operation, and we did a bit of the excavations for the fish ponds, and we got liners and all the equipment for this business. We're encouraged by a lot of family friends, and we're also retiring from our formal employment. So with the encouragement of our head of state that we shouldn't just be sitting on farms as residential places, we decided we must do something with the land that we bought here. So that's how we started this business. It's an interesting business. We've had a lot of support from our equipment suppliers, our feed suppliers. We've attended a lot of workshops that they've conducted, and we attend these workshops, both my wife and I, together with our team, the people we work with here, so that the knowledge that we have must be across the board, so that even when we are not here, our people know exactly what they are doing. It's been an interesting journey. The first year was reasonably much better compared to the second year. This second year, the biggest challenge has been power. Because without power, we are not able to pump water and we are not able to aerate. So our operations are restricted because of that. In the initial startup, we had wanted to do solar, but we thought we should give ourselves a breather because that time the cost of solar also was quite significant. Some of the equipment we operate here require three-phase power, so you can't run them from a small genset. You have to have a big genset. So that's why we thought we should give ourselves a breather, so that once we start generating some income, that's when we can move into solar. The other challenge we had was that people will not tell you when you are doing this business. The numbers that people throw around don't include certain aspects like security. Then when you hit the ground, you realize you have to spend on security like the bed nets, the electric fences. We had to put some solar lights here so that even in the night we can see what's going on here. So I think those are some of the costs that you don't factor in the initial appraisals. But otherwise, it's been an interesting journey, and despite the challenges, we hope to continue managing those challenges. I'm pretty sure we will invest in solar so that we are able to do our operations without any hindrance from power. Thank you so much. We have 6 fish ponds here. 2 of them are big ones. They have a holding capacity of about 10,000 fish. Then the other 4, they have a holding capacity of about 6,000, but we stock them at 5,000. So all in all, we have a total holding capacity of 40,000 fish in a cycle. So that's what we are doing right now. In the first year, we had to learn the market. So we have customers who are marketeers. They also have their own preferences. For instance, they prefer medium to smaller fish because their clientele are probably the high density areas. Then you have supermarkets. They prefer the big fish because they are supplying in maybe low density areas and so on. Then we have also customers who buy our fish so that they can do smoked fish, and those also prefer big fish which they can use for smoking. So those are the customers that we have. So some of them come to collect the fish from here. Like for instance, we had one of our big customers is Roberts in Chilenje. They come to get live fish from here because they had an aqua tank in their shop. So they would get the fish from here live to go and sell in their shop. Then some of them we deliver for them, like the supermarkets, we deliver for them. So that's the combination of customers that we have. Right now, we are not yet doing any value addition to the fish because our second phase was to do the vegetables. because the water that we release from the ponds, that's the one we use to water our vegetables and the orchard. Going forward in future, we want to see if we can move into smoked fish, because we believe that would be something we can do without investing a lot of capital. Okay. In terms of managing the quality of the fish, I think one of the key issues is first to be very selective where you get the fingerlings. We need to get the fingerlings from established suppliers. For instance, we are doing tilapia. The Nilotica is the one we are stocking here. So if you don't get the fingerlings from reputable suppliers, you can have fish that doesn't grow as much as it should. Also, you need to make sure you are feeding the fish with the right feed. We were receiving our feed from Aqua. We also receive feed from National Milling. We also did a bit of Novatec from Zambia. So, but the main suppliers have been Aqua and National Milling. So that's what we feed our fish with. So also, it's important to monitor the parameters of the water, because the water quality affects the ability of the fish to feed and grow. So if the water is not of good quality, the fish will not feed. Okay, so you need to monitor the temperature, you need to check the oxygen contents, you need to check the ammonia content, so that you know that the fish is in a good environment. And that way also it informs your processes in terms of recycling the water. Because when the water is not so good, you need to release and put in fresh water so that the fish can continue. You will notice even the level of their activities. When the water quality is very good, the fish is very active, and their feeding will show, because they will tell you the quantity of feed is supposed to be like this, but by and large you also need to take into account the behavior of the fish on that particular day. Even if the theory says you need to feed them 20 kg, but if they are not eating, then you can't throw 20 kg in the water. So at least that's what we've learned so far.
Husband said when he first started this business, we had a lot of expectations. We just thought, oh, these ponds, we are hitting it big. But there are a lot of hitches along the way. And even when you think you've got so much fish, it doesn't all go like at once. You find that sometimes you're expecting to like offload it, but not everything will go. You still have a bit remaining, and you need sometimes maybe to invest in a cold room, but you can't keep the fish in a cold room for a long time. It has to go. That's also another cost. So we've learned along the way, like he said, that what we were expecting is not exactly what happened. So it's still a learning process, but what we have learned is more than what we are yet to learn. We are almost becoming experts. Mr. Kaluwe covered a lot, but I can also add to say you need to get a lot of information. Get as much information and do a lot of research before you actually jump into the fish farming. Yes, even the people that you have that will, right from the start, those that will do the fish ponds for you, and those that will do the reticulation for you, and those that will actually take the care of the fish for you. You need to have people that know what they are doing, because you just wake up and you find fishes floating on the water and it's dead. So what do you do with all that fish? Because of just one small mistake. So right from the start, do some research, at least.
Especially even in the pond construction, you need to get proper experts. Because the reticulation, I remember the early days after we did the ponds, then we went to buy the equipment, and we're buying the liners and everything. Then my consultant says, oh, we also have to buy this equipment. I said, but this equipment, what is it powered on? He said, electricity. I said, but you didn't talk about doing a reticulation for the electricity on the pond. So you find here you have to run a lot of electrical cables to power this equipment. And even those electrical cables, they have to be of the right size so that they can meet the power for the equipment. For instance, if you are running this aerator is a single phase, but this aerator here is a 3-phase. So if you did not bring 3-phase power to your ponds, then you will not be able to power a 3-phase aerator. So such things, even the design of the ponds, if you want to release water, if they are well designed, you should be able to release the water just using gravity. But if they are not well, then you have to pump the water out again, which adds to the cost. So I guess that's why it's very important to work with people who know what they are doing. I think by and large is just to encourage people to say, like any other business, the early years you find hurdles, but we must always be positive. We must never give up. We must keep looking for innovative ways to overcome the challenges that we will face. We are grateful to the government that now they've removed a lot of duties related to solar products so that even us, maybe the quote I had last time, will come down now that there are no associated import charges so that we can move to an off-grid solution. 3 to 5 years, we hope we'll be operating this off-grid because clearly we've seen that this climate change is here to stay. So we need to have more sustainable solutions going forward, and also the cost of the grid power is going up. So whereas the solar power might be expensive in the initial setup cost, but the running costs are much lower. So I think that's where we want to be, that we must be having an off-grid solution. Okay. And even making our own feed going forward, of course it's tricky. We still have to get the right people to give us the correct formulas. But we want to do value addition to the fish and start smoking the fish so that maybe we have a broad range of customers.